listening to Cain, Randy, and Brooke on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the Vinyl.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it back for another week, and we're pumped that you did. We're so glad to have all the listeners out there, and we are so pumped to have the new subscribers on our YouTube. I know Randy's been pushing that thing, pushing it like a drug pusher, the pusher man. But go to our YouTube and subscribe to our channel, the Scratch the Vinyl podcast channel, and keep helping us out so we can continue to make great content. So we're back here. I'm in studio. The others are in remote locations. I think Randy and Brooke are out doing secret spy stuff, which they're not allowed to talk about, but they did let them come on the show for a little bit. So I'm going to bring Randy on first, the chill man himself, the king of Sting, the entertainment Godzilla in this town and so many other towns. I can't even mention it. Randy, how are you?
Well, I always love the hype you give me when we start the show. It's really, I'm like the former party animal, but I did have a great week this week of shows and had a great Memorial weekend. And, you know, the music scene has been hopping in here in Lincoln.
It has. You've been tied into it. I mean, you've been really destroying. We just had our benefit a couple weeks ago. You've been on these massive karaoke shows. You've been to shows at Madsen's. Give us a brief report. I mean, how's it been feeling for you? Have you been feeling like the scene is lively right now?
It has been, and I think, you know, the weather was a little up and down, and so I think they were all worried it's summertime and people were getting ready to start to do outdoor shows, but a lot of people have been showing up, and I think they're just in the fever. I think everybody's looking to get out.
I've heard a lot of great things about your shows. I'm sorry I haven't made it out. I've just been super busy. But let's get to our other host right now. I hear her rustling in my closet, so I think she's actually there today. So we're going to bring her on. She's the Big Red Machine. She's the red-lipped lady. She's the lovely lady that steals all of our hearts. And honestly, she makes me laugh. And that to me makes it about like 1,000 times better. So Brooke Johnson, how are you?
Well, thank you, Kate. I'm wonderful. And you make me laugh. And yes, I am in your closet. I'm talking to your skeletons right now. We're having a great time.
I can feel Fred's presence. You know, I have Fred and Fred Weena, the skeletons, the male and the female. And I can kind of feel like the vibes coming from Fred, like maybe you are in there kind of creeping him out. So, hey, it happens, but I'm glad to have you guys on. I do want to briefly mention, because this is a vinyl podcast, not only, you know, we talk about vinyl and things, but we talk to amazing musicians, which we're going to be bringing one on here in a moment. But I have to mention this at Backtrack Records, one of our sponsors. I finally did the holy grail for me. I got a couple of very good Weird Al records. Ooh, look at this one. This is Weird Al in 3D. And I also got his Even Worse album. So to me, that was kind of a bucket list thing. I just needed some Weird Al in my collection. So, I mean, you guys got to love Weird Al. I mean, we've talked about it plenty, haven't we?
Absolutely. Cain, what did you have to do to get that? Did you...
Oh, I don't want to say
it or something, or a kidney.
But what
those are hard to find.
What happened to those animals wasn't right. You know, it was just.
I'll give a shout out to our buddy Rob Stevens down there at Backtrack Records.
Oh yeah,
he gets the best stuff down there. Everybody should go check it out.
He does. It's such a hidden gem there. And I told him, the reason that it's my favorite place in town, the reason we sought after him, because we love the place, is they open at 10. And they're open on Mondays. There's not a single record store open at 10 a.m. or most of them, not all of them, on a Monday. So, like, for me, I like to go early so that I can get all those sweet deals and stop elbowing people and moving them around. So
he's so nice, too. I went and got a record player from him, and he threw in some really cool vinyls. And then I bought some more stuff for my record player. That dude's cool. I love him.
He's the best. You know, I don't want our guests to wait too long. I feel like it's always awkward. So let's talk about him for a second. I know he's in a band that I've actually discovered probably a little while back, and I know they play like Nintendo tunes and everything with Pierre Brown. And so I went out and I immediately bought the vinyl at one of the local stores. So I was pumped to finally get this guy on. He's in the Midland Band. And these guys are absolutely incredible. So let's bring him on right now. It's Tom Adelman. I think I said that right, didn't I, Tom?
You did.
Hey, all right. All right. I do retain some information. Tom, how are you doing? And welcome to the show.
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's a nice, cold, rainy morning here.
It is. You know, I'm gonna ask you something right off the bat that's gonna surprise you. I noticed that you are a fellow fisherman, and I'm a big fisherman with my son, and so I want to ask you right now. I think the vinyl fans deserve to know, where are the fish biting right now, and what are they biting on?
I was actually just at Pawnee Lake over the weekend, and my buddy caught. We weighed it was a 28-pound blue catfish. We were night fishing there, and that was about it. I caught a small channel, but we fished pretty hard for about a day and a half, and but that made it worth it. You know, you pull a fish like that out at midnight, it's pretty exciting. It's hard to go to bed after that.
And I love that. And here's the tie to music now is when I fish, I at least have one, or both headphones in my ears. What do you usually listen to when you're fishing? Do you have like a fishing playlist or anything?
Let me guess. Hold on. Fish?
Oh, no, I mean that might be appropriate, but I really like the Grateful Dead when I'm fishing. I don't know why. I associate that music with the summer and with being outside.
If you think about it, Thomas, Grateful Dead, you're getting a fish and you're like, oh, how grateful.
Yes.
Dead. Okay, yeah. All right. We can do all the
I'm thinking Mungo Jerry, little summertime. Probably scare the fish away. I don't know.
It's a necessity though, isn't it? I mean, you got to have something. I listen to a lot of podcasts when I fish also. But I don't know. I'm kind of weird that way. Are you kind of like me, Tom? Do you need to have headphones in at all times? Because like when I go to the store, I can be like a snob where I'll have them in and I want to block everybody out and listen to something. Is that you or no?
I don't do that, but I do use them often. All day at work, I will often have headphones, or I like to go for bike rides, usually, every other day or so, or just walking. And I recently got some like Bluetooth ones that like go around my ear that like, I kind of like them because I can kind of leave them on for a long time and just have light music. And shocker here, I listen to a lot of video game soundtracks very lightly if I'm doing tasks because it's not distracting, but just so much great video game music out there.
There is a lot of good video game music. My kids used to play it, and I loved. My brothers, what was the do?
Oh, Mario.
Yeah, and I feel like when you're listening to that music, you're like cleaning, and you're like, I can step on this chair, and then I can go over here and clean this.
Right. Task-oriented music.
Yes.
I think my favorite of all NES is probably like the original Castlevania music.
Yeah.
I mean, well, all of it. Simon's Quest too, right? That sequel had amazing day and night music. But man, that really took. And then Mega Man, like when I saw you guys on Pure Brown had Mega Man 2 as a medley, I was like, oh my God, like I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent on Mega Man, all of them, but Mega Man 2 in particular.
That one has the best soundtrack, I think. And I think it was done by someone different, and I don't remember their name, but it was and then sorry, I can go off about Mega Man 2 for a moment. The composer, and I can't remember I can't remember her name, but she submitted the music and it got rejected. They were like, it's too happy. And then I believe it was a lady. She made like they wanted more like rock music, like 80s, metal rock. And so that was her whole intent behind the second submission of the soundtrack. And that one was accepted. So it's kind of an interesting tidbit. I believe I got that story right.
We love the deep dives on that. Don't apologize for deep diving on Mega Man 2 soundtrack.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting to people.
Right.
So, but I got to ask you, as a musician, I mean, and a guitar player, it can't be, or maybe it is. I mean, you're probably a better guitar player than me, but I know that you're probably playing a bunch of jazz chords and a bunch of different stuff for a lot of this stuff, and you're probably having to tab this out in order to figure all this out, aren't you?
Oh no, I don't really use tabs like at all. I used to, but for the video game tunes, that was something I did as kind of an ear training exercise. When I first started doing video game covers, it was as a like little Christmas project because I was early 20s broke and didn't have, a ton of money. So I had this little Boss recorder that had like a CD writer on it, and I recorded the entire Mega Man 2 soundtrack and learned it all by ear. And then that kind of just got me really going on video game music, because it was like a present for like my bandmates and brothers and stuff, because it's like when you're in your early 20s, not all of us had a lot of money then, and we're working in restaurants trying to be rock stars or whatever. So yeah, I tend to learn it by ear mostly. I mean, occasionally I'll have to like, they do have some of these video game songs now, which they never used to, on like the Ultimate Guitar Tab app on your, like, you can get it on your phone, and then you can isolate the tracks and slow them down. But I used to learn it all like at the speed by ear, which was less accurate, but it's probably almost a better ear training exercise. But just trying to do that and map it all out in my head and memorize it basically. So
that's a great story about what, kind of how you got started. Can you tell us a little more about kind of your background in music and how you kind of got started in music?
Oh, sure. I thankfully, I had and still have an older brother that has always been into good music. And being the younger brother, I was copying him constantly. Well, I had two older brothers, and so he was into really great stuff. Weird Al being one of my very first loves. Actually, I'm glad you brought up Weird Al. That's amazing. What a appropriate episode for me to be on, because Weird Al was one of my biggest music influences from, because I would steal his tapes and his Walkman and walk around the house listening to Frank's 2000-inch TV and all those hits. What was that on? Alapalooza, I think, is the album that he first got. He played trumpet, so I, followed in his steps when I started elementary band, and then when I was like 10 or 11, that was around the time that you could like go detassel corn and like, make money as a kid. And he was like, you should buy a guitar with this money. And he was really getting me into like rock and metal, like Metallica. I was really into them. I'm not afraid to admit the first Creed album, he got me that for my birthday that year. And I loved the sound of the guitars. Mark Tremonti, incredible player. And that really inspired me to want to play guitar. And so I took my detasseling money and I bought a little amp and a guitar, and then started taking lessons from a local guy named Mike Casey, who was actually the son of Al Casey, who was a member of the Wrecking Crew that was an LA musician that he played on a ton of classic albums. And his son, Mike, had moved back in with his mom in Nebraska because his mom was from Nebraska. So it's kind of a crazy story. I got to learn from the son of a musician that was in a legendary recording group back in the 60s. So that's kind of where I got my start.
Well, I know that you're from Nebraska. You lived in Columbus, correct? One of their bands that you're in, the Midland Band. How long have you been doing that? Like 20 years? And you still have like three of the same like people in there. Like that's unheard of almost, How did you guys all get together, and how did that start out?
That's a good question. So two of us took guitar lessons from Mike Casey. Scott, who at the time he was playing guitar, he plays bass for the Midland Band now. And he had a drummer friend that I didn't even know. I lived 2 blocks from, he was a little older. He's in my older brother's class. They invited me to come, jam with them because they heard I played. And Scott and I were both in school band together. Scott was a little older than me. He was the guitar player, and they just invited me to come over, and we played a bunch of like Metallica songs, and it was 2 guitars and a drummer, and we were originally called Pot Roast.
What a great name, man. I love band names. Pot Roast is a killer band name. I just heard an interview with Zach Wilde, who's an amazing guitar. And I think he was on Billy Corgan's podcast, and he was talking about his first band, like what major band name was Stonehenge. And I thought, man,
Oh, nice.
that is such a strong, like metal name. Like you just say Stonehenge, you have a guy like that. So yeah, dude, Pot Roast, that kicks ass.
Do you guys ever like just have conversations with people and you'll say something just crazy and you're like, yeah, that'd be a cool band name, or that'd be a great song.
When someone says something weird, I like to say, "Oh, I love that band," when they're not talking about a band.
Yeah.
They're like, I can't. I can't think of a good example right now, but it'll.
Like the ham wallets. Those are some appetizers. My
Right.
sister ate, and we're like, oh, ham wallets. That could be a band name.
Yeah. It's
Instead
like,
of
hey,
our appetizer.
you like ham wallets? Oh, I love that band. No, they're food.
Yeah.
I always wanted to name a band Yeast Infection, like like as a punk band. I was in one of my first bands that I started was a band called Yellow Snow.
Oh,
and,
nice.
and it was, I thought that was perfect, but I always wanted to take it a step further, and that's probably grossing out our listeners. But I thought Yeast Infection would be a great band name.
I think it sounds like a old school punk band name for sure.
Oh yeah,
You can hear the crowd yelling, "Don't eat," and then you bring up Yellow Snow.
We want to hear Monostat.
maybe y'all resurrect Yellow Snow, like the next band
Yellow Snow.
I start. Yeah, like Yellow Snow might make a return, and I'll just get new members, and it'll be I'll beg Cole Moore and Richard to start a band with me. We'll be Yellow Snow from here on out. So Tom, I know that let's talk a little bit more about the Midland Band, because you guys are playing out a lot. I've been looking at your scheduling. You guys just played. Did you do the soft opening at Bodegas for the new iteration?
Oh yeah, we did that.
How'd that go? How's the venue, and how'd you guys feel about it?
It went really well. I think the people that took it over are very music oriented, and they seem to be putting some investment in the system, and the lights they were running were awesome. I think they got some new subs that weren't quite hooked up yet, so that should have a beefier low end, and altogether I think that it's headed in a good direction. We'll have to see, but I'm hopeful, and they really seem to care. So
There's some really good friends of mine, and that's all they talk about. And I know Miles is a younger kid that helps with the lights, and he started playing when he was younger, and he's really, really good. But they do a lot there at Bodegas, and kind of help him out a little bit. It's kind of like if I went into a hospital and be like, I'm a nurse. No, you're not. You don't want somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. So you get people that really know what they're doing, and those they do. They really, really do. I remember going to Bodegas and watching or listening to Dead Hour Wednesday nights.
Oh, nice.
It smelled like patchouli and incense. It was a good time. But yeah, it's a good place. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that. But yeah.
The scene is vibrant right now. I know it always has been, but there's some people who tried to tell me that it was kind of stale for a little bit, and I hate that. I hate that term as a local, like a homebrewed musician, as we talked to David about. We're trying not to call ourselves local musicians anymore, because that sounds, I don't know, it almost sounds like we're Bush League. So David Rabe from KZUM suggested that we call ourselves hometown musicians or bands or homebrewed bands. So I kind of dig that now.
Nice.
So what about the other places you're playing? I mean, you guys do 1867 and in the Zoo Bar and all that too?
Oh yeah. And it just kind of depends on various factors. I'm not married to one venue. I really like supporting all of them. Any place that has live music, and supports that. It's good to support all of those places. They all have different things that they offer. They're all different sizes. The stages are different. The feel of the show is different. I know, like 1867, for example, they seem to get a lot of the heavier shows, and that's kind of great. And like Pure Brown has always done well there. My newest group, Underbite, we played there for Lincoln Exposed this year, and it was really great because we get a little heavier and a little more on the progressive metal, progressive rock side, and that venue seemed to suit well. The Zoo Bar is absolutely legendary, and I will always support that place. I actually play there weekly with the Jazzocracy too, which is a open jazz jam, and that place just has something special about it, and it's cool that we're having a bunch of like younger university students and stuff come play, mostly like horn players that have been sitting in with us. It's really cool. It's great to see bodegas in the hands of someone that's going to be, I mean, they seem to be fairly eclectic, but it always has kind of been leaning toward the jam scene, and then kind of the electronic music scene. And then we've got the Bourbon across the street for the bigger shows, and for it's so cool that we've been able to book the Bourbon a few times. If you can get the right show together if you get some of your fellow musicians from the area and you do like a big, album release party or something, the Bourbon has always been so cool to us. And it's just great. Like, each venue has its purpose and its place, and I hope people support them all. So, yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was part of that for many years downtown, and I always loved the variety of what you could get at all the different places, and every place served a purpose. But we kind of saw a changeover over a few years there, especially then when COVID hit and places shut down, and then we saw places closed. So it's really nice to see that we've not only got some older places kind of revamped, plus then we had like the Rail Yard get, really now kind of go big. And so it's really nice to see the scene really kind of bringing out some new fans to live entertainment.
All right, let's go ahead and get this weekend started. Let's get the party started. It's going to be Friday the 13th. It's going to be awesome. It's one of the most magical days of the year, and it comes by a couple times a year or whatever. And so let's get started first with the Elegant Sasquatch ad. And then when we come back, we'll do the local roundup. Then we'll talk about the people, places, and things that keep things going with this show, all the great sponsors that we have. And then we'll get back to it with our guest from the Midland Band, Tom Adelman.
Dude, last night was a rager. I literally don't remember anything. What happened, and why do our beards smell so bad?
It all started when a Sasquatch came out of the woods. He was doing keg stands. He DJ'd the party for a while. He even brought a live skunk to hang out. It was epic. It was getting late when Sasquatch's skunk friend decided to spray his pungent odor everywhere. Now our beards smell like rotten eggs and trash. Don't worry, friend.
Is that you, Sasquatch?
It's me, your boy Squatch. Have no fear, my nose-melting follicle friends. I have just what you're looking for to get the skunk stench out of those skunktified beards. The Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company has all sorts of balms, butters, oils, and washes to turn you from skunk to hunk in no time.
Oh, bro, this is a trip. I feel like I'm dreaming, man. I'm gonna go back to bed.
Well, pinch yourself now because you're not dreaming, my friend. I'm here to tell you about all the great things going on at the Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company.
Oh, tell me you have something to help us with these smelly beards.
Not only do I have something for that, but I have so much more. Head on over to elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com to check out the shop and look at all the different beard balms, butters, oils, face washes, and bundles that we have to offer. In addition to all of our great prices, if you mention the Scratch the Vinyl podcast with Scratch30 at checkout, you'll get an additional 30% off of your order. Oh man, this beard wash is amazing, and these oils smell so good I could drink it.
Oh, you foolish little human. That's not what they're talking about with hair of the dog.
But seriously, Squatch, these scents are amazing. I already smell better.
Well, on that note, it's time to grab another beer and oh, it looks like our friend the skunk just arrived. It's time to party. I call dibs on the first game of beer pong.
All right, let's get into the local roundup, everybody. Let's make this Friday the 13th and then Saturday the 14th truly magical. I know for me and my Friday the 13th love, I can feel the powers taking me over with me. So I hope that I'm going to pass on those vibes to you guys. Teenagers, beware. So anyways, let's get on with it. There's a ton of stuff going on this weekend. So let's start at Gray's Cake. Friday night at 8 p.m., they've got Shit Hook. They've got live karaoke with the virtuosos known as Shit Hook. Phil Shoemaker and the band are going to be there. So go if you want to play with the live band and you never have, but you love karaoke. This is going to be the show for you. So go see that. Saturday, they've got Smutty Bingo at 8 p.m. Naughty Bingo. Saying naughty things, winning naughty prizes, and enjoying yourself. So go see that. I've heard a lot of great things about that. And then also on Sunday at Gray's, for Father's Day, they've got at 2 p.m. the Father's Day Open Bluegrass Jam. So if you love bluegrass and you just want to go listen, this is going to be a great place to go. And honestly, if you want to make connections and just play around with other bluegrass musicians, this is a great way to do it. So go there for that. Madsen's Rock and Bowl has a show this weekend. Saturday at 8 p.m. They've got Hard to Kill returning, and they're bringing the noise with those 80s and 90s rock classics. So go to there if you so choose. Let's go over to 1867 now. 1867 has a ton going on this weekend. So Friday night, they've got the Friday the 13th banger happening, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 7 p.m. doors, 8 p.m. show, $12. The Zoes, Pearl Parade, and No Looking Back are playing. So go see Noah Trumbull and Pearl Parade, our friend. And go tell them hi and check out the band. Saturday night, 8 p.m. It's a $12 cover, 21 and older show. At 1867, it's Trillion Ton Beryllium Ships, High Ruler, and Fuzz. So go make your rounds to the bars. Go see bands at all these different places. And while we're talking about it, Duffy's Friday night at 10 p.m. They've got a $5 cover. They've got some young bands here. Off Contact, Her Flyaway Manor. I don't think they are young, actually. I think that some of these are seasoned veterans. And then also Sweats with DJ Harsh Realms. It's a 21 older show. So go over there and check out what Duffy's has to offer. Let's go south. We haven't mentioned Rosie's much, so let's talk about Rosie's. Friday night at 7:30 p.m. They have Hell to Pay. Our favorites, your favorites. Go see Hell to Pay. They've got also with them SOS, which is a Motley Crue tribute. And then Saturday night, they've got Two of the Four is the band. It's an acoustic duo. It's two of whoever the heck the four are. But I've heard great things about these guys. So 8:30 p.m. is that show. So there are your weekend plans wrapped up in a nice little bow for you. Get out there on Friday the 13th and get those Jason Voorhees vibes and powers. Just don't kill anybody, all right? Just go have a good time. And now let's mention a few of our sponsors quickly. We have Roots Music Shop, also Sly Ink Tattoo, Backtrack Records. We have Lil Bill's Barbecue. We mentioned earlier Gray's Keg, also the TAM. And then last but not least, American Senior Benefits. Call and get a hold of Jason Dugash. He's the man with the plan, and he will help you with all of your needs. So there it is, everybody. There's the local roundup. Now let's get back to it with our guest from the Midland Band and Pure Brown, Tom Adelman.
You kind of touch on a little different type of music. So kind of where are you at? Do you like play in multiple bands and you have different genres of music and kind of what do you like there?
The longest one I've been in is the Midland Band, and we've definitely morphed over the years. I mean, we started playing, metal. We were a trio playing Metallica songs, and then we got into more bands like, I don't know if you know Ween. They're kind of all over the place, and then Fish, and then other groups like Humphreys McGee, which were kind of a melding of all these. Like, they improvise, they can get funky, but also they can like bring the heavy stuff. And that was where we kind of like realized it was okay to bring all these things together. And the Midland Band has definitely become very much that. And also we like to improvise. So that band is great because we will, like our last show, we strung a bunch of songs together that we had never done before. We played like, okay, we're going to play half this song, and then at this change, we're actually going to go into this other song, and then we're going to have an improvised jam in this new spot, and then somehow go back into this other song. And it's so like wild and fun to just, then, and you have the trust because we've been playing together so long. So that's what I get out of that group for sure, is the freedom, being able to explore, but also, we can do some very structured things that can get heavy, and we can get funky and anything in between. And Pure Brown is the group I've been in the second longest. And I started that with a good friend of mine from Columbus. We were roommates at the time, and he played bass, and he knew I was doing these because this is when I started learning those video game songs and doing video game cover songs and stuff for my little Christmas project. And we started jamming with a drummer friend, and we were a trio, and we didn't really have any songs, and we wanted to be heavier. I was like, well, we could play some of these video game songs I've been learning. And it just kind of like, we do have a few originals, and they're all like kind of like they could be video game songs, but it's mostly and mostly NES, like original Nintendo covers. We've branched out. We've done one Sega Genesis song and other things like that. But that is super structured, and that is very intricate, and it's very akin to like classical music, neoclassical metal, and progressive rock and progressive metal. And that group is very fun and taxing. Play a 45-minute set, and it feels like, a 3-hour set from another band or whatever, or not set, but feels like a whole night, because it's just, you got to be, we get heavy and we get into it, and it's really great.
Have you ever thought about, while you're playing your the video game, having somebody like have a big screen, have somebody playing it, and you look at it, and you're gonna play while they're doing it and see what comes about?
There is actually a band that does that, called the Bit Brigade. They have a guy, and they play the entire game soundtrack, and then the guy speed runs the game. He's like really good at playing these games, and he can beat a game in 20 minutes or something. So they play multiple video game soundtracks per show, and they have someone playing the game. And it's they played at 1867 recently, and I went and saw them. It was great. I didn't buy their vinyl. I bought a shirt. I should have bought a vinyl from them, but it's only so much money can go to merch. Try to support every band that I like, though. I think it's very important.
Man, I love that story. That's like, it's great. I mean, everybody's love music for different reasons, and you've got a nice variety of. Actually, I don't think we've ever really talked about that very much before. Soundtracks. So I love that you have some different variety going on. How about what's coming up next? What are you guys going to be playing, and what's on the horizon for Midland Band?
Midland Band, our next show, it was going to be later this month, but that one got postponed because it was going to be the Here Grand Island series, and we're not sure what's happening with that, so I can't really say. But our next scheduled show is 1 month from today, July 3rd, which we have not announced yet. It's going to be at the Bellevue Berry Farm. It's a July 3rd kind of 4th of July party. They do their taco ride there, and it's a big public event. So that should be fun. And then we have our yearly annual that was redundant. Our annual music festival, Power and Progress Festival, is coming up August 7th through the 9th. And the Midland Band started that with a few other friends, Craig Mustard of Temperature Zero Productions mainly. And this will be our 13th year of running the festival, and it has moved to Bellevue at Falconwood Park this year. So yeah, that is our next couple of shows. We're kind of taking it. Oh, never mind. We do have a show June 21st. It's Bonwood Camp Out, which is kind of a private music festival in Norfolk. I mean, I think it's open to anyone, but it's not heavily advertised. So if you want to know anything about that, hit up our social media pages, and we will be promoting that. That's just kind of a homegrown event.
Well, if a lot of people want to see who you are and what you're doing, I know you have a website or a link that you can go to.
Yeah.
Because that's you got all kinds of stuff posted on there, and you're talking about the one that you were just in your yearly annual. And then like Strands Park or the zoo, and you have all these cool videos and tells about you guys and shows what kind of music you have. How do you get there? The website or to your link. So people can. Yeah, I want everybody to go look.
Oh, right. The easiest way is to go to my Instagram, because it's right on there. And my Instagram is Tomato Man, like TOMADOMAN. It's kind of like a play on words, because my name is Tom Adelman, and it sounds kind of like Tomato Man, and it sounds like the word tomato. And I mean, I don't have any particular affiliation with tomatoes, but it just seemed like a funny handle, so I used it. But that in my profile there is my hyper follow link, which is it just has links to all of my different projects and pages and the music festival. It's not like tomadelman.com. I can't, I need to get like a website like that that's easier. So sorry, that was a convoluted response.
No, hey, no. But I mean, like, what if we wanted you to play somewhere, do something? Because I know summertime's coming up, and I love going to festivals and doing things like that. And some people, they love them at their weddings, or I don't necessarily know a lot of musicians that love playing at weddings, but you know what I mean? Just festivals, other things to do. But we can get a hold of your band and have you play somewhere if we wanted to, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So,
cool. Right on.
Yeah. Or hit us up on any of our social media pages, and we're very responsive. I get notifications and check that stuff regularly. I think it's important. So.
Where was one of the favorite places that you've ever played? I just want to know, like like I know it's like trying to choose your favorite child, but like there has to be a spot where, you're just like, I guess I see some of the pictures that you have on there and it just all looks like fun. But is there one in particular, just moment where you're like, hell yeah, this is it?
Our festival has had that happen a few times. We played our 200th show. It was about 3 years ago at Power and Progress Festival. Like, we were the last band on the Saturday of the festival, and it was such a cool moment of family and friends and everything, and we just like stopped and just like kind of talked to the crowd for a minute, and we all passed the bottle around and took a swig. And it was kind of not that I'm encouraging that kind of thing, but it was a moment. It was a really special moment, and it's like 200 shows. Like, I mean, we don't play that often. We play maybe 10 shows a year. So it was very significant.
But it seems like you're pretty active though, and especially with a lot of different projects.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna turn it around a little bit, because I get to see kind of the studio you're in right now, and it compares to Cain's a little bit, except for yours is a little more guitar oriented, and Cain's got more of the album collection behind him. Mm-hmm. But how about you? Are you into vinyl? Do you?
I am. I can go. I'm gonna go grab one that I just got actually.
Nice.
And bring it. I got my in-ear headphones on, so I can hear you and walk around the room, and I can shout at you from over here.
For our Scratch the Vinyl listeners, Tom's got an amazing studio right now, and he is pulling out of a large case of albums and going to show his favorite.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even listened to this yet. I just got this. It was probably, I guess it was almost a month ago now, but I went and saw this band, The Aristocrats, in Omaha.
Yeah.
I'm also wearing their shirt because they paid me for. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say that'd be incredible. Little shameless promotion for the Aristocrats right now.
You work for the aristocrats. No, but I love this band. This band is actually probably like the pinnacle of what I consider awesome, interesting music. They're a trio. It's Guthrie Govan on guitar, who is like the master, like my favorite guitarist, I would think, of all time. He's just incredibly expressive. He's so fluid, and everything about his playing is great because he can shred, but it's, he's tasteful. He's got incredible control, and he can play all these things with a clean guitar tone, which I love. Like I love the distortion. I love the heavy stuff, but if you can pull everything off, like all your crazy tapping licks and stuff, super clean, that's impressive too. So I haven't even really opened this yet. But yeah, this is,
wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I think it's a double vinyl. This was their first album, and then they signed it all. Cause
Nice.
Yeah. So,
but see, that's what we used to love about vinyl records. Like
right.
The album covers, the stuff that comes, just the uniqueness and what the band will put into it. So Brooke, first off, you have to manifest now the aristocrats to the show. And Cain, can you believe that Tom's had an album for a month and hasn't played it yet?
I know. How dare you, Tom? You play that thing immediately.
I know. I should. No, I don't fire up my record player much, and I love using it. But when I'm at home, I'm usually playing music. And I don't, or I'm editing video or audio. So it's like it goes by the wayside.
Cool album though. Yeah, that looks a cool album.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I have a lot of them that I haven't cracked yet.
Nice. Okay, good. I don't feel so
quite
bad.
A few, and so it's like, I'm just like getting to them, but I make sure to listen to like 3 to 5 a day, like off and on, so that my collection's actually getting used.
Well, you want the perfect time to listen to it. That's why it takes me a minute, because I'm like, no, it's going to be too busy. I'm going to be doing this, doing that. I need to listen to it. Yeah, it has to be a special time.
Mine's late at night. I like late at night.
This conversation is going to inspire me to fire it up more. And I have no excuse not to, because I have a lot of time off work right now. So, because I do in my actual career, I do fraternity and sorority catering for a company out of Iowa. So I'm off for the summer mostly. I'm home a lot. There's no excuse for me not to fire it up. So, any of your criticism is valid.
Are you working on any new music for yourself, or do you do a lot of writing at all, or?
I write without trying, because I practice things a lot, and when I'm practicing new things, then ideas come up, and I have a pretty, I would guess, like methodical writing process of like, I will come up with one small piece and then just really work it until it kind of goes places. And I don't know. So I'm writing a lot, and I don't know. I it's hard, because then you got to get the group together, and everyone's got to have time to learn things and stuff. So very little of what I actually write gets played by a band.
How about a new Pure Brown album? That's what I'm looking for, because I really did dig that album. Like I have it in my collection. I think it's amazing. I actually idolize you guys as musicians, because I'm an ear trained musician too. Like that's how I learn most things. But I have to I don't know. You guys seem like you guys could really fly off the cuff, where I have to like really work at it. Because you guys are like the real musicians. And I'm just like, when it comes to guitar, I'm just kind of like fumbling around compared to some of the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, we are hopefully getting into the studio this winter. We've got a song list, and we've contacted a place about recording. So it is in the works. It'll probably be a good year before something is released, but we definitely want to do another vinyl.
Awesome. Well, if you want to trade merch at some point, if you have any T-shirts, I would do a merch trade and wear a whatever shirt you guys have. And if you guys would wear a Scratch the Vinyl shirt, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Let's meet up sometime soon. I've got merch from a few different groups, so I'll bring you a little grab bag of stuff.
Dude, that would be amazing. We got to start supporting these local, but I wear Alice in Chains and all these bands, but I want to start like Allie and I got a shirt from him when I bought his.
Yeah.
I really want to start promoting more local bands because that's what really matters when it comes to merch. So I would love that, man, if you would do it.
Great. You know, speaking of local, I got another vinyl I can bust out quick. Well, he's no longer in this area, but do you know Problems, Darren Cain?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the listener, he's going back and he's digging more vinyl out of that massive collection of his. And he did promise us that he's going to listen to these too, because he's got
right. I've listened to this one many times. This is I don't know if this is even his latest one. Problems, Enter the Annals.
Oh, that's a cool cover.
I love that cover.
It's him and his Pekingese and
Tom, I got to tell you, you might be the first guest we've had on in over a year that's actually like pulled out the out the vinyl and showed it. I mean, this is we talk about this all the time. This is what we actually love about music right here. This is great.
This is a really cool album too. Do you have this, Cain?
I don't have that one, but just like I can Randy and I talk about like just you would go to the store and just off of look alone sometimes back in the day. If I saw that album, I'd buy it instantly. Just the artwork itself is stunning.
And I mean, that'd be a reason to listen to every song on it just to find out what they're about.
Right. Darren is really great. And his music is he actually at one point threw his hat in the ring to be the bassist for Pierre Brown. I believe we had a conversation. Well, because we were, I think, in the market for a bassist, but Darren ended up moving to Chicago. I could be recalling this all wrong, but I know the conversation at some point happened. But his music is, you know, it's electronic, but to me, it's like akin to video game music. And then he does some vocals over it. It's super interesting and cool. If you haven't checked out Problems, Darren Cain, it's really great.
Tom, this has been a blast because you've given us a whole different perspective on a lot of different things that we don't ever really get to talk about on this show, and we really appreciate that. But unfortunately, you know, time flies when we get to having fun with some great guests like yourself, and super impressed with the, you know, what you've been working on. And again, anything we can do to promote and get your stuff out there, we want to do that here on Scratch the Vinyl. And I really appreciate your time today.
Wow. No, thanks a lot. This is super cool. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I need to listen to some episodes of this now. And I'm sorry I haven't, but
maybe it's better you didn't. Maybe you were like, oh God, he's gonna say something crazy. No.
Actually, Tom, if you actually go back, a lot of the inside jokes you'll start to get, and you'll understand where we're coming from. But it's been a journey for us as well to get to know a lot of different artists in the area. And of course, we started off talking with a lot of people that we know, but it's really exciting for us to get guys like yourself that are out there that do a lot of different things. Because music's different for everyone, and really one of the premises for our show was to kind of show highlights of people that don't maybe get noticed by everybody. And I think if we help you find a few new fans out there, I think they're going to really appreciate what they find.
I appreciate that. And I hope I can do the same for y'all. And we'll definitely be sharing this because it's super cool. And just, you ask great questions, and it's great to just talk about good music. And the Weird Al won me over immediately.
Well, we'll definitely have to get you back because we'll want to hear about how the festivals go over the summer.
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of one of those things. Every time we have a great interview, we barely scratch the surface on kind of what's going on, but it's a great way to introduce you to our fans. And again, thanks so much for coming on Scratch the Vinyl.
Yeah, you were top notch. Like all of our guests, you were another 5-star homegrown talent, and we love having you on. Tom, you're the best. I will say in closing, to me, one of the best video game soundtracks of all time is actually from Tecmo Super Bowl. Of course, with sports, it is the best. So I invite all you listeners out there to listen to that. But thank you guys for listening to the show, and we will catch you on the flip side here on
Scratch the Vinyl.